and all the good feelings.
Recording is on.
There we go. We're going to kind of bring in all the good feelings from him. So, all the good memories, all the good experiences. And I want you to really feel it, remember it, understand those emotions. So, that's going to be part of when we start to get into channeling. Another thing is, I always like to explain to people how I feel I do this. Okay. It's all in feelings, honestly. So, number one, I'm going to have my pen. Number two, I'm going to have my notepad. All I do on it, this is my last two sessions, is all I do is just scribble the entire time. So I don't take notes because I don't know what the hell is going on when I'm channeling.
Okay.
Okay. Another thing with this is how do you feel, hear, or experience spirit? So I get a whole lot of signs and symbols, kind of like a Rolodex. Pick up a card. This is a symbol. It means something to me. Another thing is that um, I will get a whole lot of emotions that go along with it as well. So they'll try to convey how things felt. And so they'll give me a feeling. And I'm like, oh shit, this is what it feels like. Another thing with this is that I will get like daydreams, like seeing what is happening or what was going on in the situation. And then the last thing is that I will get words, phrases, um, uh, paragraphs, stuff like that, and I'll be able to kind of like relay that to you. Now, with that too, when it comes to words and phrases, I'm not like a speed dial phone. So it's not like, can you tell me what happened on Thursday at 7 p.m.? What did they say to me? It doesn't work like that. But I can tell you everything that comes out of my mouth is always meaningful and it means something to you personally. Okay.
Okay.
And a lot of times I'll ask you, I'll be like, does that make sense? Because what happens is if you don't confirm or deny it, then it's almost like I can't skip to the next thing.
Right.
Okay. So just hang out with me. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to breathe and I want you to think of those feelings and bring them back. And I'm going to zone out for about a minute and then we're going to start channeling. Okay. Okay. So let's get into it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I know that probably wasn't a minute. He says, my girls are all my girls. And then he's like, they tried the best for me. They tried their best for me. I don't know what's going on with that. Probably dealing with this condition and passing. Hang on. We'd always, hang on. House, fun. He said, we didn't, hold on. He said, we didn't have a lot of money, but we always had fun. Hang on. Like, I don't like to, hang on. He said, I don't like to brag about it, but I had a little. Okay, so he's kind of like a shy, not shysty in a bad way, but almost like he's talking about how he had a little pocket of it. Hang on. Why is he talking with his hands? Hang on.
He's Italian.
Okay, so that's my symbol for Italian talking with their hands. That's why I was like, oh shit, I know this is where we're going with this. Okay. Watch any of my other videos, and anytime they're Italian, I'm like, they're talking with their hands again. This is the whole thing. Hang on. He's like, so about the money thing, he's like, you don't always say everything that you have, And I'm like, okay, hang on. That's a whole nother thing. Hang on. Oh, so okay. Would you watch out after him and take care of him? Okay. He's talking about like you watching out after him. Like he's like, oh, she was a good girl. Like she do this. Hang on. You always sat with him? Did you always sit with him?
Yeah.
Okay. He's talking about like, this is what is said. He says, not all of them always had time for me. That wasn't a thing. He's like, but she would always come and she'd sit with me. I'm like, oh, okay. Hang on. He's taking like precedence for partly raising you. Did he partly raise you?
He did.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm like, that's what he's showing me. Like, hold on. Hang on. Hang on. He said, you think I could have kept my health up a little bit, but sadly I couldn't. Sadly I couldn't. I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. Hang on. So there's watch me get sick. So he was sick?
Yeah.
Okay. He said they watched me get sick. He was like, they were so worried about me, so worried about me, always checking on me. Hang on. Hang on. Why does he say I never let on how? Did he always disguise how bad he was getting or how he was feeling?
Yeah, like he would just he would skip appointments and then tell us that they called and canceled them and just stuff like that all the time.
Mm-hmm. He's talking about like that's literally what it is. He was like, he says, I didn't want them to know. I didn't want them to know. He was like, but they knew. They were led on by it. They led on. I was like, oh, okay. Hang on. Hang on. Fuck. He's like, I don't know what the hell were they gonna do for me? Hang on. Hang on. Fix me? They can't fix me. He's very argumentative sometimes, isn't he? Hang on. Yeah. I'm like, well, they were gonna fix you. He's like, fix me. What were they gonna do? And I'm like, okay, they're not. Hang on. He said, I'd rather just sit in my home, be fine. Hang on. Wait. Where's the girl? Why is he saying the? Hold on. Why is he referencing to the fees? Are him and the grandmother, are they separated?
They're both gone. They both passed.
Perfect. Okay, so she passed before him?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, because he's talking about, I'm like, well, where's the grandmother? He was like, oh, she left a long time ago. Just said like that. I was like, oh, okay, hang on. He said, oh, we had our fight. Oh, so they were married all the way up until she died.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, because I was like, so are y'all separated? He was like, oh, we had our ups and downs. He was like, but we made it all the way through. Hang on. Wait, did they have like 6 kids?
No, I had 1.
Why is there such a big family that goes along after that then?
That have passed, or?
I know they're alive. We'll get into more past in a second.
Maybe because there's us 3 sisters. There's 3 of us and my mom.
Okay. Hang on. Because he's just talking about like this from them and this conglomeration of family, and I'm like, but there's not like a whole lot of guys or anything around. It's all like female oriented. Hang on. Mm-hmm. Do you mind if I bring the grandmother through as well?
That's fine.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going through passing with him first. Sorry. Oh, his poor little hands. It's making me feel like how like weak they were, how they're like not. He said, I was a big man, Amie, don't look at me like that. And I'm like, oh my God, stop. You're not that big. Hang on. They kept squeezing it. It wouldn't let me go. So people are there with him when he passes?
Yes.
Okay, because he's talking about they kept squeezing it. It wouldn't let me go. Hang on. Did they have to take him off of everything?
He had a heart attack in his house and his aide was there.
Oh, that's the people. Okay. Because he talking about somebody just like squeal, like, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's talking about they had to let me go. They had to let me go. Hang on. Hold on. Oh, so they couldn't even do anything at the hospital. He just died straight up right there. Hang on.
Yeah.
So he's talking. I was like, well, so did they do CPR, all this stuff? And he's like, oh, they tried. He's like, but I was deader than a doornail right there. I was like, oh, great. Hang on. At least I didn't go the way my wife did. Did she have a much more intense passing?
She went in for like a test. They thought she had like blood cancer or something, and she died on the table. Hmm.
Well, no wonder he's comparing me to that. He's like, at least I didn't go the way my wife did. I'm like, oh my God. He was like, she was she only in her 60s when she died?
Yeah. She was
Really?
50. God, I can't even remember. I want to say 56.
Yeah, like very young. Sorry, he's like, she's a young woman. She's only like here. Like she's showing me my mom's age. My mom is 61. And so I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait, did she die of a blood clot?
They're not sure what exactly killed her.
Okay. Because he says something, it's like he's like straight to her brain. And so I'm like, the only thing that goes straight to her brain is like a blood clot. Like that's pretty much it. She coded on the table, they couldn't bring her back. Wow, hang on. Sorry, this is part of. Hold on. I hung around that house and waited for him for years. That's what she's saying. So she waited for him for. Wait, how many years apart did they die?
He died in 2019. She died in 2009, so a little over 10 years.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. She literally said, I was waiting in that house for years for him. So it's a whole nother. Oh, hang on. My daughter, and my daughter. Okay. Wait. Okay. So this is mom's side.
Yeah.
Okay. My daughter's okay. Hang on. At least they're all happy here and happy and healthy and strong. She's totally the optimist in the relationship versus him.
Yeah.
She's the positive, happy one, and he's still happy and nice, but he definitely has this more like grumpy, intense disposition that I really like. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, wait. He's like, you couldn't tell me to do nothing. Like, he's always happy. Because when I ask him questions, he's like, yeah. Like, okay, sir, hang on. Hold on. He's like, I wish I would have gotten the chance to say I love them. People don't say that much anymore. That's what he's saying. And I'm like, okay, hang on. Whoever knew? Whoever knew? Right there. It was supposed to be a beautiful day. That's what he's talking about. Hang on. Right there. There's nothing she could do. I hear her calling my name, so she's calling his name. Are you there? Hello there? Hang on. Did they sell and move everything out of that house very quickly?
After he passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to.
Okay, because he's talking about standing there and it's almost like watching time go by. And he was like, they had everything out with like within a month. Like it's very quick. And I'm like, wow. Hang on.
Yeah, we had to. His landlord was not nice.
Oh no. Yeah, because he's just talking about seeing everything. It's like speed packing and then things just moving out the door. It's like a time lapse. I'm like, oh my God. Long. And then he's like, you have these memories here for so long, and then people just shit on him. Hang on. Hold on. Okay, so he was religious. Hang on. I don't know about her. Hold on. That's me saying something from them. Did you? I don't know what that means. I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. What is going on with? Were they actually Catholic though?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Who does somebody have the beads, or does somebody have the rosary beads, or does somebody have? Because he's making me feel in my hand, or like something that's like a necklace. What is that?
My sister has rosaries from his funeral hanging in her room.
Perfect. Okay, because he's just making me feel these, and I'm like, okay, this is specifically from y'all. Specifically from y'all. Okay. Hang on. Every spirit, especially since they haven't been channeled, they always show me different things too. So I'm like, where does this fit? Hang on. Okay, so they were buried?
She was. He was not.
Okay. Who's brushing his hair? Did somebody come up and see him and like brush his hair or comb his hair?
My aunt did.
Did
She was
okay.
by his head going.
Really? Okay. Yeah, because he's making me feel somebody brush my hair. I'm like, what? What's going on? Uh, wait. Wait, y'all didn't bury him next to her because the plot was already filled up?
No, it was just he didn't have any insurance policies at the time, so we cremated him.
Okay. Because he says, oh, they're, I said, well, why are you not there? And he was like, oh, they're all filled up now. I was like, wait, so is that everywhere? I'm like, well, you can just be buried next to somebody. Hang on. Or the back of them. Hang on. He said, was he a big man when he passed?
Yes.
Okay. So he made a joke in my head, and that's why I was like, I don't know if I can say this. He says he said they had to get an extra large box for me to be burned in, and I was like, can you stop? Can you stop? And he's like, I bet they made him pay extra. Like this whole, and I'm like, can you, sir?
We did have to pay extra. We did. We had to pay extra to get him cremated because of all the water and stuff that was on him and everything. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, that's the whole. We'll just let you know he knows, and it's now a family joke. So if y'all want to joke about that, by all means, it's fine. They've done it first. Wow. Hang on. Oh wow. On. Wait. He's like, I'm asking him. I'm like, do you watch her? He's like, watch her, watch her. Of course I watch her. He was like, she's. Hold on. And all the dumb mistakes they make. And I'm like, but he's like, oh, she's not. She's on a good, hold on, good route. Wait, why are you confused right now?
My mom, basically. I have custody of my little sister.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Because he's like, she's in a confusing spot. And I'm like, why are you confused right now? Hang on. Hang on. Does mom have a substance abuse issue?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because he shows me quite a few explicit images, and then I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about. He said, oh, she will. Oh, so this isn't the first time this has happened.
Right.
Okay, cool. Because he says she won't get her head on straight. He uses another word though in it too. Won't get her fucking head on straight.
Well, that sounds like him.
That's what he said. He's like, won't get her fucking head on straight. Never has. Like that's. I wish I could have a speaker hooked up to my mouth so you could hear their voice, and then you'd be like, what? I'm like, this is what it sounds like. Hang on. He calls it dope. Is it actually dope? Is it really? Okay. Because he goes, she's always into that fucking dope. And I'm like, oh. He said, thinks it makes her feel good. She's going to lose her sanity. And the guy she's with. Wait, so she's with a guy too?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, lose her fucking sanity. He's like, and that guy she's with ain't worth anything. Hang on. Wait, so he's a loser too?
I don't like him.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that's what he says. He goes, ain't worth anything. Is this like that? Fucking loser. I'm sorry. He's very big on F-bombs, so we're going.
Yeah,
I'm just going to call him. Okay, cool. Amazing. Hang on. He's saying he's with my granddaughter. He said, now here's one. Hang on. Wait, did you get married?
Yes.
Okay, cool. He's like, do you know she got married? She got married. I was like, oh, you did? Hang on. Nice guy, taking on the whole world. That's what he says. Wait, so he works really long hours?
He has his own business.
That's why. Because he's like, oh, he works from sun up to sundown. That's what he's saying. Hold on. Always out, always about. Hang on. That's what a man needs, though, in the field. That's what he's saying. This is not me. He's like, that's what a man needs. So always, he's like, always having, start a family. Wait, are you trying to start a family of your own now?
I have a son.
Perfect. Hang on. Soon, daughter soon. Do you want a daughter?
I just had a miscarriage in February.
Well, I'm just letting you know too that that will probably pop back around very quickly. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, because when they start mentioning, and I don't want you to, when this happens, especially the vibe of like you will have 3 kids with you. Okay. I when you become pregnant in this upcoming year, I don't want you to feel like the miscarriage is gone and the miscarriage hasn't tried to come back in, because they're looping that back. So whenever we get pregnant, I don't want you to keep thinking, oh, but this other one I lost. I want you to remember that the other one that we lost, that just wasn't time for that moment, is now back in. Okay. So, and another thing with that is that it's nothing with you, BTW. Hang on. That's what he says. He says, I don't want her to think it's something with her. I was like, okay, fine. Hang on. If she just starts listening to herself. So just start listening to yourself. He said, just start listening to herself. She'd be a lot better. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Hang on. She's the best mom. He says she's the best mom. Hang on. From before. Wait. Is your son from another guy?
No.
Okay. Is really why is he saying that your husband has really changed? Has he like gotten better, or is he like grown up a whole lot? Okay. Yeah. Because it's almost like it's two separate people. That's why he's like, oh, this person was this way, and now look at him, he's getting all up here.
It could be also that I had miscarriages before, and one was with my ex.
Okay, he said that was a shit guy. Was he a shit guy?
He was a shit guy.
Oh, there you go. That's exactly what he calls. He said, I was a shit guy. I was like, oh, okay. I haven't heard that phrase before, but I like it. Hang on. But he's very protective of you. He's like, for her, only the best. And he's just like this. I'm like, I know. And he's like, I love her. Hang on. So grandma loves you too. Sorry, this is very much about him right now. Hang on. He says you were friends with her, but y'all always had the special bond. Is that the thing?
Yeah.
That's what he says. He says, you're always friends with her. He's like, but her and I, we always had the special bond. Hang on. He's like, God, Amie, if you could just give her a hug that way. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know how far away we are, but I don't think she's in Houston. Hang on. Just let her know I hear. So when you talk to him, he hears you. Okay? Okay. So what I want you to do right now is, hang on. Wait, do you have any questions for me? This got very intense very quickly.
So my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know if they're together with him. He was like the best.
He was the best. He still is the best. Hang on. Hold on. Wait, were there 4 miscarriages altogether?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. Because he says, I'll keep 3 of them. I'll give 1 back to you. So like, that's why I'm like, okay, 4. So you're going to have 1 back with you. He's like, I'll keep the other 3. So just know that he has them and it's good. You are in good hands. I trust this man with my life. Hang on. Wait, was he either getting ready for bed or getting up in the morning when this happened, when he died?
It was later at night, and my mom called him and said that she was getting ready to come over.
Okay, because he's talking about not either having his shirt on or not being fully dressed. That's why. And that's why I'm like, when is this? Because he's talking about dying in an inappropriate way. I'm like, he's like, I wasn't even fully dressed. So I'm like, I know you didn't die naked. I've had that before. That's a whole nother thing. I'm like, people will talk about that when they do that. It's almost like he either had like an undershirt on and like didn't have his actual shirt. I don't know. Sorry, that's just a random thing he's talking about.
I wonder if he means when they cut his shirt off in the ambulance.
That may have been because he's talking about being very exposed and underdressed, and he did not. He was like,
Probably.
literally, this is the phrase. He's like, you think you die, you think you could actually die in dignity. He was like, look, I was underdressed, like just totally. And I'm like, but you're not really a guy that's gonna get there and get all dressed up for all of this. And he was like, I only had a couple of shirts that fit me. I was like, fine, hang on. Wait, do you have a couple of his shirts?
I don't. I think my aunt does.
Okay, there's something about like making it into almost like a blanket or a tent, or maybe he was that big. How big was he?
He was big.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a long-standing joke about my aunt because she's heavier, and
Yeah.
my grandfather's father said to her, "Why you have your clothes hanging outside? The neighbors are gonna think I'm getting my pup tent out there, ready to leave town." So maybe.
Yes, he's literally
maybe
showing me like a tent or like a big blanket. Like this is what he's showing me. I'm like, how big are like what are we talking about with this? God. Oh my God. Hang on. Like he said, I always give her hell. So like that's his daughter. He was like, but she knows I love her. She knows I love her. Hang on. She's the only one that keeps people. Okay, so the daughter is very straight and narrow. So she's good.
my aunt, yeah, it's his sister.
Oh, like he's like she's the only one that has her head on straight, like in that older group. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I mean, there is more, but like that's a big thing. Hang on. He talks about wanting to give you like that, just like a little one, like all the time. That's his thing. He's like, come over here and do it. Like not actually getting up, just like trying to do it. Yeah, he is. He's good. He's really good. I want in closing right now, I want you to take, you know, a few minutes after this, and I want you to dissect everything that we talked about. I also, when I send you the recording tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon, just rewatch it, re-listen to it. If you have any questions for me, just email me, okay? Or if you need me again, just email me. You're a whole nother thing that goes on with YouTube, but you're great. You're doing now. I do worry about. Hang on. Wait, is your little sister like 6?
No, she's 17.
Is she really? Because she seems very childlike.
I have another younger sister that's stuck living with her dad. She's 12.
Oh, that's the little bitty one. Okay. Is she? He says she's. He says they don't pay enough attention to her. He says almost like they like. He shows me like getting a tablet and like putting her in her room, calling it a day. Like that's it. He said, I watch him. I'll watch all my kids. He says they'll get out of it one way or another. Hang on. You're gonna have your hands full with your sister. I'll be your confidant later on, though. Watch out for having your mom pull her back. Or like having your mom get into her head later on. So just watch for that too.
Okay.
So right now, in closing, have a good breather. Have a couple minutes to just think. You may, because he's really intense. I really like him. He's super intense. He's great. I would channel him all day long. You may have a dream about him tonight, tomorrow, the next night. That's kind of like it was like a 3-day period. So if you do, accept it and love it and enjoy it. Now another thing with him, you've had a dream of actually seeing him? Yeah, that's what he says. He goes, she's seen me. I said, okay. I said, have you talked to her? So you may have a talking dream next. So know that first one was real, BT dubs. And if you'd like him to come in over the next couple of nights, just say, I'm so excited to see you again. Don't say, I want you to, I need you to. Just be like, I'm going to be so happy when I get to talk to you. Right? It feels very different. That gives that open-mindedness. And yeah, if you have any questions, just email me, okay?
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you, Nicole. You're good.
Oh,
Don't worry. Okay.
thank you.